I'm a bird, mother. I'm a bird.
Activision Blizzard fires activists, and it took them how many weeks to actually take any action, and huge public backlash. I remember when we originally posted talking about when the situation was just happening, we got so much hate as well for saying that a person should not wish onto anyone, and people got mad at us saying that.
So I don't know if you guys remember the Blizzard artist by the name of Kyle Hickey. They made a very interesting thread on his Facebook page after Donald Trump got elected into office and inaugurated. He's the man who decided it was in his best interest as an employee for Activision Blizzard to basically tell everybody to off your local MAGA. It wasn't a joke. It wasn't facetious. It wasn't anything. And there was a bunch of people agreeing with him, liking the post, saying, hell yeah.
Never wish something like that onto people. Like, just because you disagree when it comes to political views or any of that stuff, it doesn't give you the right wish onto them. You cannot justify saying stuff like that.
Like, clearly it's a little bit unhinged, but that's all besides the point. Blizzard, now apparently after weeks of silence, may have actually pulled the plug on Kyle Hickey and fired him. Now, again, guys, all of this is alleged. We don't have any actual true confirmation just yet over whether or not Kyle Hickey is fired. But let's be honest, we're probably never going to get a true, actual admission that they fired this man because, you know, that's just not what these companies do anymore. They rather just do it quietly, sweep it under the rug, and let the drama die down on its own. So let's get into this article, guys, from That Part Plays. But, of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So it says Blizzard may have finally fired artist Kyle Hickey.
Also, it's not even confirmed. It still may have.
Yeah, this is a may have.
For political violence against MAGA, according to former World of Warcraft team lead. Now, Ken, every time they say former World of Warcraft team lead, you already know it's Grums. Like, I just at this point, I don't know why they don't just say Grums, but I understand it. I guess former World of Warcraft team lead sounds better. I don't really know. After days of silence, it seems Activision Blizzard may have finally...
Well, usually people don't mention name either not to directly link to that person, or it just seems more beefy. It has something to do with SEO.
Taken action regarding Kyle Hickey, the Blizzard technical artist who ignited controversy with his violent social media posts that called on followers to off your local MAGA. Former World of Warcraft team lead Mark Kern, known online as Grums, confirmed that multiple sources close to the situation.
Did he just say Grums? God damn it.
Have informed him that Hickey's Slack account has been deactivated. Kern shared the update on X. Now, before we get into this, okay, I want to throw out a little bit of a conspiracy theory, okay, and just hear me out. So for me, I would normally believe this, right? I would normally say, okay, they deactivated his Slack account. Perfect. That sounds like he got fired. You know, he made the decision. It is what it is, right?
Okay.
But I'm a little bit sus about this, and the reason why.
So they removed him from the Slack. So, again, Slack it's something like Discord, but it's usually used in offices.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean he's fired.
No, it doesn't.
I've seen companies utilize Slack, but usually it's just team leads and remote employees would be there, but not everyone would be there. So, yeah, it doesn't mean he was actually...
Why is because there has been a recent attempt as to try to, I guess, get the leakers in Blizzard exposed, and they're trying to find out who is it that leaked this information to Grums. If I was Blizzard, and I doubt they're this smart, but if I was Blizzard, I would make up some BS that I know is hot right now, which is the Kyle Hickey story. I would make up some BS that we got rid of Kyle and deactivated his account and all that stuff, and we would just make sure that only a couple of employees know over at Blizzard. We would just make sure they know. That way you could sniff out who's the one that's actually leaking this information to Grums in the first place. But again, most of the time, it usually does signal that when the Slack account gets deactivated, that normally is a sign of termination, but we don't quite know for sure. Even Grums says so. He says, I can now confirm from multiple sources that the Blizzard artist who made threats against MAGA has had their Slack account deactivated. This is usually a sign of termination. Something was finally done. I can now, and again, if true, this represents a major face or about face for Activision Blizzard.
And again, why was that not being done when the whole thing happened? Why did they wait for the public backlash to do anything? I always say that's not a good sign for a company.
It's not.
Blizzard. As recently as of February 4th, Kern had publicly stated that nothing was being done about Hickey's post, citing insider sources. At the time, Kern expressed frustration over what he saw as selective enforcement of company policy. Now, I don't think that Activision Blizzard would actually do anything personally. I really don't, because knowing how this company is and seeing how they have acted in the past, I really feel like it's fair to say that they would probably side with Kyle Hickey. I really do.
Maybe it's Microsoft that got involved. Maybe that's why it took so long. These are assumptions that we're doing. Is it possible that Microsoft caught wind of the whole backlash happening? That's why it took so long, because Microsoft got involved after they heard of all the stuff happening. That would explain why it took this long.
As crazy as that sounds, I really think that the company would take the stance of, okay, well, our woke employee decided to say this, and obviously he has his freedom of speech, and we can't fire him for this, but we'll reprimand.
I think freedom of speech should not be enacted when it's actually calling onto political. I think this is the line that you cannot cross.
Him. We'll punish him, whatever the case would be. Some PR BS nonsense response, but I don't really think they would get rid of him, right? And I still don't right now, even though Grums is saying that they did. I feel like there's more to this, but I could be wrong. Anyway, so then if we look, actually, hold on. So Grums, the Blizzard artist who called for offing local MAGA, was outrageous. Imagine if he had said this about the left, completely one-sided HR policies which have zero tolerance for this type of language, unless they agree with it. Death threats are wrong, folks, and I'm tired of people saying that they're just jokes. Now, if you look down, it says, now with Hickey's deactivation appearing to signal his potential termination, Activision Blizzard may be attempting to quietly contain the backlash. On January 21st, just one day after inauguration of Donald Trump, Kyle Hickey posted on Facebook saying, off your local MAGA. Unlike other inflammatory statements that...
Like, this is not freedom of speech. There needs to be a line of stupidity.
Might be defended as satire, sarcasm, or exaggeration. Hickey's post contained no disclaimers, no LOL, no emojis, no clarification that it was meant in jest. The blunt statement, a call for violence...
Even as a joke, something like this shouldn't be a joke. There was no emote. He doesn't know those people. No one's in on the joke. And quite frankly, I don't think it's a joke.
Against supporters of the sitting U.S. president was liked by multiple followers, including Max Davenport, associate art director over at Gearbox Software. Now, I was looking at that post and I went down the rabbit hole and I realized how many people that are in the industry that was actually liking that post, because they're all friends, right? They all co-mingle together. They network together. There was a lot of people that were in the industry that were liking that post, reposting it, sharing it, whatever the case would be, commenting on it. It was insane. And it goes to show just how far gone people are and how much they're melting down on the inside that Donald Trump actually is now president of the United States. They got to deal with it for the next 4 years, you know?
No one's saying they cannot be upset, right? They are entitled to feel however the hell they want to feel. But it doesn't allow you to say stuff like this under the disguise of being upset about the vote. Your feelings do not justify calling for violence.
And they can't deal with it. That's the whole point. They're going to try their best to make our entertainment as miserable as possible. They really are. The stuff is going to be so on the nose that people are just going to probably end up being so sick of it. And thankfully, we do have good games out there that we can play. Some indie games, some AA games, and a couple of AAA games here and there. But we do have some good games out there that we can enjoy for the year. And we also, as gamers, by the way, have a massive backlog. God knows my Steam backlog is ridiculous. I have over...
Oh, yeah. Same. It's not even funny. Like, out of the games that I have, So I have 308 games on Steam alone. And I probably have 60% of the games still to play. I have an immense backlog of games that I cannot wait to play. On top of that, grinding out ranked Marvel Rivals. I'm good. I'm set. I think the majority of us, unless you're a console player, you're set with games.
Yeah, I just re-download the first remnant from the ashes.
Yeah. But we have a lot to do. Like Ubisoft, EA, Activision Blizzard, all these companies going down. It's genuinely not making a difference to us.
Or 300 games that I probably have as a backlog right now because you guys have been so kind and you've been gifting games and sharing games with me. So I appreciate it.
You see, Hypnotic, he's not afraid of opening his Steam for people to gift him games. I know if I open my Steam, you guys will send me the most heinous, annoying games, and I'll have to be all polite and nice, be like, yeah, thank you. Also, I'm gonna quit streaming.
But my backlog's insane, bro. I can only imagine how crazy other people's backlogs are in terms of video games. But I will say this. If they did end up firing Kyle Hickey, part of me feels like that's a good thing. Part of me feels like that's also a bad thing because obviously freedom of speech. But at the end of the day, you are representing a company. You are part of Activision Blizzard. You work there, and you telling everybody to off your local MAGA with absolutely zero any kind of reference to a joke, nothing whatsoever, an LOL emoji, nothing. So
Yeah, that's all he posted.
Nah, bro, don't do that. You didn't have the Bob check.
Can we? I never heard anyone talk about the fact that how people reacted to it. Thumbs up, heart, holding heart.
What the hell?
Why are people not talking about that?
sarcasm, nothing. It's just literally a command off your logo MAGA. I'm gonna say that you probably should have been you should have been reprimanded at that point. These are the people here that liked it, by the way, and I'm sure there was more people that liked it before it all got deleted. But these are the people that got screenshotted to like it, and then even somebody commented. Nicole Williams commented on this as well. It says for days, Activision Blizzard remained silent despite mounting pressure from gamers, industry professionals, and conservative commentators. Many saw this as another example of the double standard in corporate HR policies, where perceived threats against left-leaning groups result in immediate termination, but threats against conservatives are often ignored or tolerated. This
You shouldn't make them point blank, period.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't also have a massive bias about it.
incident comes at a pivotal moment for Activision Blizzard, as the company has recently doubled down on its DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives,
It's just so bad.
even as other major corporations like Walmart and Amazon have begun moving away from such programs. Well, that's because with Activision Blizzard, they're being honest about it, right? Amazon, Walmart, they're not being honest about it. They're lying to you. They're telling you that they're moving away from it, but they're going to end up doing something else within the company. Or even if they don't, at the end of the day, their employees have been indoctrinated by the DEI policies that have been around for years.
Wait, is that how World of Warcraft looks these days?
What?
That's not World of Warcraft, right?
There's no way.
I'm so confused.
Years, so they don't have to worry about having to have policies because everybody thinks the way they want them to think anyway. It really doesn't matter. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider
Good video. I did not know there was an update on the whole situation. Now we know. I hope he was actually fired.